In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. From ancient promises whispered in the night, to a humble stable under a shining star, from a ladder reaching heaven, to a cross that changed everything. Bible Stories Animated brings the timeless truth of Scripture to life. Watch journeys like Jacob's transformation, from a deceiver who wrestled with God, to Israel, the father of a nation, and many more epic stories from Genesis to Revelation, cinematic animations, faithful to the Bible, for every heart seeking hope, truth, and wonder. Subscribe now and journey through the greatest story ever told.
Rebekah was pregnant with twins, and the Lord said to her, "Two nations are in your womb." The first came out red and hairy. They named him Esau. Afterward, his brother came out, with his hand grasping Esau's heel, Jacob. Esau became a skillful hunter. Jacob was quiet and stayed among the tents. One day Esau came from hunting famished and said, "Give me some of that red stew." Jacob replied, "First sell me your birthright." When Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, he called Esau and said, "Prepare me tasty food that I may bless you." Rebekah said to Jacob, "Bring me 2 choice young goats. I will prepare tasty food for your father, and you will take Esau's blessing." Jacob brought the food to his father. Isaac said, "Come near so I can touch you, my son." The voice is Jacob's, but the hands are Esau's. Then Isaac blessed him. "May God give you heaven's dew and earth's richness. Be Lord over your brothers." When Esau learned his blessing was taken, he burst out with a loud and bitter cry, "Bless me, me too, my father." Rebekah said, "Flee to my brother Laban. Esau plans to kill you." So Jacob fled toward Haran. Jacob left Beersheba and traveled toward Haran. He came to a certain place and stayed there for the night. He had a dream, a stairway resting on the earth, with its top reaching to heaven, and angels of God descending and descending on it. There above it stood the Lord, and he said,
"I am the Lord, the God of Abraham and Isaac. I will give you and your descendants this land."
Jacob awoke and said, "Surely the Lord is in this place. This is the gate of heaven." He called the place Bethel. Jacob continued his journey and came to the land of the eastern peoples. There he saw a well in the field. When Jacob saw Rachel, daughter of his uncle Laban, his heart was captured. Jacob went over and rolled the stone away from the well's mouth and watered Laban's sheep. Then Jacob kissed Rachel and began to weep aloud. Laban ran to meet him, embraced him and said, "Stay with me." Jacob said to Laban, "I will serve you 7 years for your younger daughter Rachel." Laban said, "It is better that I give her to you than to another." So Jacob served 7 years for Rachel. But they seemed like only a few days to him because of his love for her. When evening came, Laban took his daughter Leah and brought her to Jacob, and he consummated the marriage. When morning came, there was Leah. Jacob said to Laban, "What is this you have done to me?" Laban replied, "Finish this daughter's bridal week, then we will give you Rachel also, in return for another 7 years of work." So Jacob served another 7 years, and Laban gave him Rachel as wife also. Leah bore Jacob 4 sons, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, and Judah. When Rachel saw that she was not bearing Jacob any children, she became jealous of her sister. The handmaids also bore Jacob's sons, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher. At last Rachel conceived and bore a son, and named him Joseph. Laban said, "Your wages will be every speckled or spotted sheep." But Laban thought he could outsmart Jacob. But God prospered Jacob. The flocks bore striped, speckled, and spotted young. Jacob grew exceedingly prosperous, but Laban's attitude toward him changed. The Lord said to Jacob, "Go back to the land of your fathers. I will be with you." So Jacob put his wives and children on camels and set out for Canaan with all his livestock. When Laban learned they had fled, he pursued Jacob for 7 days. But God came to Laban in a dream, "Do not harm Jacob." They made a covenant and called the place Mizpah. Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him till daybreak. "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and prevailed." Jacob learned Esau was coming to meet him with 400 men, and he was greatly afraid. Jacob divides the family and prays, "O God of my father Abraham, save me from the hand of my brother Esau." Jacob sent lavish gifts ahead to appease his brother Esau. But Esau ran to meet Jacob and embraced him. They wept together. Rachel bore Jacob a 12th son, Benjamin, but she died in childbirth. Jacob had 12 sons, the fathers of the 12 tribes of Israel. From these 12 sons, the nation of Israel was born. God's promise to Abraham was now fulfilled through Jacob, Israel. And the descendants of Israel became a great nation, just as God promised. From one man's struggle with God, a nation was born. Jacob became Israel.
Thank you for watching the story of Jacob becoming Israel. If this touched your heart, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay updated. Share with friends and family. More amazing Bible stories are coming soon. God bless you.